A young woman attacked while running in Iron County is sharing her experience of survival. TV6's Iron Mountain Kingsford Bureau reporter Clint McLeod sits down with her and brings you her story.
He said, if you throw your phone, I'll let you live.
That was one threat 18-year-old Aurora Dale says she heard from Caleb Anderson the morning of August 1st. At 6 o'clock, Dale was out for a run on Gastro Road, a route near her home she has run for 2 years.
Farther down my run, probably a mile into it, I heard footsteps behind me, and I turned around and he was like there running towards me. He looked at me and said, I'm doing a social experiment, I'm doing a social experiment. And in his hands, he was holding duct tape, and it looked like mace, kind of, but I didn't know for sure what it was.
Dale did not fall for the ruse, and she says Anderson attacked her.
And he was trying to throw me to the ground, and I was just resisting it, and somehow he ended up behind me trying to choke me. And my dad always taught me, if someone is behind you trying to choke you, kick your feet out from under you, because they're not going to be expecting like the sudden change in like movement of weight.
Dale says the physical assault continued for 10 minutes. She was hit in the face and bleeding.
There was one time where he was like on top of me with his hands around my throat, and I just kind of like hip thrusted him off of me.
After she escaped, Dale ran home and called the police. Later that week, she learned about Anderson's connection to homicides in Green Bay in Alabama.
I was the only person that was lucky with an encounter with him to make it out.
Dale says she slept with the lights on every night until Anderson was apprehended, afraid he would come back. The 18-year-old says her life has changed forever. How are you feeling now? Have you gone running again on that same area?
No, I don't think I ever will. And I will never go alone ever again.
Michigan State Police Iron Mountain Post Commander Lieutenant Jeremy Hosworth says Dale's recollection of the assault was critical in developing a sketch and identifying Anderson.
To have an eyewitness that survives an attack like this is critical, and then her presence of mind was incredible. She allowed specific details that we would have no other way of getting, and was able to put a timeline together and vehicle description that put us way ahead of the game.
Dale says she went running for the first time after the assault Thursday with the company of her mom. Anderson remains in an Alabama jail. Clint McLeod, TV6 News.
On the basketball court, Iron Mountain and Kingsford have one of the fiercest high school rivalries in the UP. During last night's boys basketball game, this rivalry was used to benefit the grieving students at Oxford High School in Lower Michigan. TV6's Iron Mountain Kingsford Bureau reporter Clint McLeod tells us about the unique partnership.
Separated by less than a mile, the journey for me begins here, outside of Iron Mountain High School. And my journey ends here at Kingsford High School after a short walk down Kimberly Avenue, where the students behind me packed the gym for a good cause. The cause? Students at Oxford High School, where 4 classmates were killed in a November school shooting.
I've always been really moved and just really want to help people that go through something like that serious.
Fernetti worked with Kingsford administration to organize the event. The Iron Mountain Kingsford boys basketball game was chosen to host the fundraiser.
We know we have a connection with the Iron Mountain community. We are the same community.
Both schools worked together to create the Miracle Minute. Students rushed to get as many donations in 1 minute.
During our rivalry games, we have our student section that has a theme that they are for Iron Mountain, obviously. Kingsford has their theme. They want Kingsford to win. This is an opportunity for us to have one theme for us to raise money.
The unifying theme was USA. In 1 minute, $1,455.79 were donated. The mother of Iron Mountain guard Matthew Kolovecki won the 50-50 raffle buyout of $238, and she donated it all to Oxford. All that money will support grieving students.
We're going to go 2 different areas. One is going to be a victims foundation, and then another one is therapy dogs.
12 students from Oxford High School were on Zoom to watch the events.
Even like small communities in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan are thinking and doing things for them, and I really hope that they appreciate it.
The Kingsford junior forward says this rivalry game was different, and both teams left the court embracing one another. Clint McLeod, TV6 News, Kingsford.
Well, a joke over breakfast turned into a life-changing moment for two Lower Michigan firefighters. They were in Upper Michigan, hours from home, battling the Menominee warehouse fire. TV6's Iron Mountain Kingsford Bureau reporter Clint McLeod shares this story of how family is more than just blood.
Joshua Holliday is a firefighter on the Frederick Fire Department in Lower Michigan. Stephanie Van Holder is also a firefighter on the nearby Beaver Creek Fire Department. The engaged couple was deployed to Menominee on October 15th to fight the Resolute Forest Products fire.
A lot of the paper was still smoldering and flaring up, so we were up in the air, and anytime we saw big pockets of smoke or small flame while the loaders and excavators were moving around the paper, put it out.
The two had been engaged since October 2021. Their wedding date changed 3 times, once because of the deployment. The couple quickly formed a new plan to tie the knot, as talk of getting married in Menominee quickly spread among their 14-person unit.
It just kind of went from there. Like, that kind of started all of it. So from Sunday morning as a joke around breakfast, it kind of turned into a real thing.
The two officially said "I do" on October 20th at the restaurant inside the Best Western in Marinette. With a new last name, Stephanie Holliday, her maid of honor was the waitress. One of the firefighters from their unit is an ordained minister and performed the ceremony.
We went to Walmart in Marinette and we grabbed some silicone rings and we made her a little rose bouquet.
While the couple wishes family and friends could have been there, they were surrounded by a new family. The brotherhood and sisterhood of the fire department.
To me, it's the largest family there is. You can go to almost any station in the United States. The second they find out you're a firefighter, all of a sudden it's, hey man, that's great. Like, what station you on? Like, what's your rank? Like, how many calls do you guys run? Like, it almost immediately turns into, hey, guess what? Now you're my brother, or in your case, you're my sister.
The Hollidays will host a reception in Lower Michigan in December to celebrate their marriage with family, friends, and of course, firefighters. Clint McLeod, TV6 News, Menominee.
The Battle of the Bulge was a pivotal turning point in World War II on the German front.
TV6's Iron Mountain Kingsford Bureau reporter Clint McLeod sits down with a 97-year-old veteran about his experience in the frostbitten battle.
John Motti was a corporal in the U.S. Army during World War II. He was drafted at the age of 18 and operated a 105mm howitzer gun. In December 1944, he was on the front lines of one of the coldest battles of the war, the Battle of the Bulge.
Germans made a big push, you know. We were one division, and they went right through us.
Motti was one of thousands of American soldiers captured in the first few days. While Allies prevailed in the month-long battle, Motti was already in a German prison camp.
We didn't get much to eat. I lost a lot of weight, and the food was no good.
Motti says the first thing the Germans did was take away any warm clothing the soldiers had.
We were in a barracks with no beds. We laid on the floor, no heat in the building, no light, and full of lice.
Motti was a POW for 4.5 months. As a prisoner, he would daydream of his mother's meatloaf with raisins. When he was freed by Allied forces in May 1945, he weighed barely 85 pounds.
We knew they were coming because we could hear the guns, the fighting. But then, all of a sudden one day, the gates were open, and the guards were gone.
Shortly after the war, he received a letter from the wife of a soldier who was at the same camp he was, asking about her husband.
He got sick, and I never heard no more from him. And when I got home, I got a letter from his wife. He died. She wanted to know what happened. And I don't know what happened because we got liberated. They took him out. I don't know if he had pneumonia or what he had. But he died anyway.
After the war, the Niagara, Wisconsin native returned to the UP and built a home in Quinnipiac. Eventually, he settled down and had 3 children. He says he is thankful he survived the camp.
There was a lot of guys dying in there from lack of food and diseases.
Mahdi was only 20 when he was captured, and he says his youth helped keep him alive. He currently lives in the Oscar G. Johnson VA Medical Center. 2 of his children are nearby. Clint McLeod, TV6 News, Iron Mountain.
This is the closest we could get to the scene. I'm across the river in Marinette, Wisconsin at a boat launch where I'm observing 2 ladder trucks pour thousands of gallons of water on the smoldering fire. Clint McLeod, TV6 News, Marinette.